What's up, you guys? Welcome to Modern Music Expo, the online music conference for the 21st century songwriter, artist, and producer. So today we're going to be talking about the marriage of music and social media. Now, when I've put out questions about this topic on my Instagram, I got a lot of queries from you guys. A lot of you were asking, how do I promote my music on social media? How do I go viral? All of those things. So today I have a wonderful panel for you guys to address just those things. I have Queen Herbie here with us, who is an incredible artist and songwriter. Originally, Queen and her husband Nick were in a band called Carmen. They had a very successful record out on a major label, and they've chosen to go independent after that. I'm gonna redo that. They've had a very successful record on a major record label as Carmen, and then they've transitioned to Queen becoming the main artist and Nick becoming more of a songwriter for her, and they're having an amazing success right now. Her latest song, Sugar Daddy, has close to 40 million views on YouTube, about 20 million views on Spotify. Really incredible numbers for an independent artist. So Queen is going to be sharing her wisdom about how she's used social media to advance her career with us today. Next, I have Faith Benson from the band Crimson Apple, who is an insanely talented drummer who has gone viral for her drumming on social media, and her band as well has had a lot of viral success, especially on TikTok. And thirdly, we have Stephanie Leva from the platform Thematic, which is an amazing tool where artists can be connected with social media influencers, and the influencers can use the artist music in their videos for free in exchange for promotion. So we have a lot of juicy topics to dig into today. So without further ado, let's just get going. All right, and we're here with our wonderful guests, Queen Herbie, Stephanie, and Faith. How are you guys doing today?
So good.
It's
Thank you
awesome.
for having me.
Oh my God, thank you guys for being here. It's awesome to have all of you guys to chat about the marriage of social media and music, which I think is like a very, very hot topic. And I think we're getting like interesting perspectives here because, you know, you guys are artists and Stephanie's more on the business side. So we're going to have a lot of interesting sides to the conversation. So yeah, I just want to kind of jump in like personally with you guys. We're going to have some like more general topics and then some a little bit more tailored to you guys. So my first question is for Queen. I know you've been using the internet to promote your music honestly since like day one. Like you were YouTube queen in like what, 2009?
Yeah.
I mean, I'm at least 107 years old at this point.
You're a vampire. Like you just always look amazing. So
Thank you. Yeah, I don't know what it is, but yes, the internet. I'm coming to know that now I'm an internet person.
you are.
That's
You really
what
are.
I'm okay with it. I know it used to be like something you would be ashamed of, like back in the 2010s. It was like, oh no, you're a YouTuber, you'll never be legit. But now it's literally you need to be an internet person.
It's really, really true. And I just know that you've been there from the ground up before like any of this was really established. So big kudos to you. And yeah, I guess this is like more of a fun question just to start us off. But yeah, how has the progression been for you? Because obviously when you were starting out, like none of this was really developed. Like people just put up like their phone videos and they went viral, you know, and now it's just like everything is so uber produced. But then we also have TikTok, which kind of isn't, but is. Like, how has it been just like seeing all of this and being a part of all of it and successfully doing all of it?
Wow, thank you. I always say, same shit, new toilet. I'm a rapper, but also, no, it's like if you are made for this game, you will be okay no matter what happens, no matter how many platforms they make and how many different things you have to learn. Like on TikTok, the most frustrating thing for me was like getting the words lined up with this, like there's always something new, and you always have to be willing to keep the blinders on and just fucking bite down and do it. That's the key. It takes a certain type of artist. It's not for everyone. You know, there are still artists. I mean, not many, but there are artists still signing to record deals and getting success by just being mysterious. But you, if you're like a genuine person who likes to work hard and is creative, and our goal in my camp has been to make it sustainable, because like mental health is really important, but also financially, like how do we drop music every month or something without running out of budget? And you slowly over time will find the balance, but the key is to keep the blinders on and just fucking go.
That makes so much sense. Thank you for sharing that, because I think a lot of people really need to hear that sometimes you just gotta Nike that shit and do it.
It's not easy. It's not easy.
No. So, and I want to kind of switch to a bit of more of a business perspective with you, Stephanie, because we've met through, your company Thematic, which is really incredible because it basically allows artists get connected with influencers and have their music used in videos by influencers for free, which I think is really, really cool and great promotion. I mean, I have some songs on Thematic. It's sometimes I check it just to like see what's up. It's like really fun, and I'll see, oh wow, this influencer just posted it. It's got like over 1 million views on this video of her drinking juice, and my song is in it, and it's very funny. And then I'll get like comments on my music videos like, hey, like I saw your song in so and so's blog. I'm like, oh, well, thank you. That's great. So yeah, I want to know a little bit more about Thematic and a little bit more about how you got started at the company and your guys' goals and, plans and dreams for the community and like the intersection of social media influencers and artists.
Yeah. So the company, I mean, really the work that the company is doing started probably 10 plus years ago, before I even came in the picture. Our co-founders were working with artists and YouTubers, and just matchmaking them manually. Just, hey, this is a cool song, use it. And then, that relationship was happening from a long time. And then when I came in the picture, the platform was really just a baby. It was starting to develop. It was super small, maybe like 100 creators, YouTubers, and then maybe a handful of artists. So it's really been a really nice progression. It's been great seeing how that all works, and also building that in-house and building it with the team and seeing really through the algorithm and through tech how we can make that happen at scale and not focus so much on, I'm going to email this person and hey, yes, you have permission. It's just making it an automated process so artists, emerging or just mainstream artists can use the platform and not have to actually email that creator to use the song or provide the license. So it's a streamlined way, it's at scale, and now we have a couple 100,000 creators, so it's grown crazy. But it's really interesting to see just the types of creators that use it. And then even with your music, just seeing who uses your music. And then, sometimes I'll find some cool content and I'll like send it to you guys like, oh my God, did you see this? Or, I'll send it to Elli, who's one of, your friends and partners. So it's really cool. It's just an awesome platform.
Yeah, it is really interesting too, hearing kind of how the company got started, because I can totally see that. Like, hey, let me manually match you guys up, but scaling it up and making it something that a lot of people can use, because there's only so much matchmaking one person or two people can do. So that is very, very, very cool. So, and then I wanted to kind of transition to you, Faith, and kind of introduce you a little bit more. So I talked about you guys, your band, a little bit in my intro video, but it has really, really been so rewarding and exciting to watch you guys grow so much on social media, because I'm pretty sure when we met, it was like 3 years ago, and you guys didn't really have a social media presence, did you?
Yeah, no, not at all. Yeah. definitely in the early stages of
yeah, it's crazy. So I kind of want to know, because we never really talked about it too much. I want to know like how you guys got started, because I think this is like a lot of people need to hear this. Everybody's asking like, how do you get started? How do you promote your music? And you've done it so successfully. So what were some of those early steps?
I guess early steps as far as getting on to, I guess, social media. We've been on social media for a while, but I think we really started to take it seriously probably within the last, like you said, like 3 years. I think we always like kind of posted like some covers on YouTube and all that stuff, but we sort of just got into social. Sorry, I'm so nervous right now.
God, do not be nervous. This is chill.
You're doing amazing, and you look so gorgeous.
Yes.
I've been doing my makeup for like 2 hours for this, because I was like,
it's perfect.
Where?
You look so pretty. Please don't be nervous. You're so pretty and so talented.
But yeah, we just kept receiving like the comment. Even when we first started back in like 2012, to like start posting your covers on YouTube or your songs on YouTube, or just like get on Instagram, because you're gonna be able to really reach a lot of people that otherwise would literally never know about you, because we were just like, we grew up on an island in Hawaii and we just randomly started playing pop music. So it was like we were always looking towards that. But in our recent, like, probably like the last 3 years, we realized that we'd be able to reach a lot of people just by posting more consistently or more seriously.
Yeah, because it was just crazy to see, because I, obviously, like, I work with a lot of artists, I follow a lot of artists, and your guys' social media sort of exploded. It was really cool to see. I usually see more of this, and with you guys I saw this. It was very cool. Do you think it was mostly TikTok?
Yeah, I think it was definitely TikTok. I think when the pandemic hit, we weren't able to play live shows, and that's pretty primarily what we had been doing. So we were like, I mean, we really want to get our music out there and get our covers out there. And then TikTok popped up and we're like, let's just try it out. And then we ended up finding this awesome community of people who liked our music or liked our style or liked the same animes that we do. And we were posting like anime covers and everyone's like, oh, I love this song, which is like super surprising to us. So like we found our people on there.
That's actually crazy. You guys just like did what you loved, really.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I think that's
what's most exciting about it. So.
I think that is actually probably one of the most exciting things, because like Herbie, you probably know a lot about this, like having been in like more of an old school record deal and everything, how back in the day, like artists weren't necessarily able to do what they want.
I love how this conversation is Stephanie mentioned scale, and then I talked about sustainability, and then we were just hearing about from, why am I calling you Crimson Apple? That's your band. I'm gonna stalk you later. Okay?
It's faith.
He's talking about faith. It's faith. You gotta have faith, okay? Faith is talking about yes, which I think is also related to sustainability, like doing something you love. Because I signed a big record deal and did what the label wanted me to do, and I found out that I wasn't fulfilled by that. Even after making money, it wasn't enough for me as an artist. So I had to like cut ties and go indie, and it's been an amazing journey. But I think that's a great observation. This is why you're so good at this, girl. These podcasts, it's like you know how to connect the dots and make like this is if you take one thing from this podcast, it's like sustainability and like doing what you love and finding great companies like Thematic. Thematic helps me so much. So thank you. And find people that you like to work with. It's really like the sustainable artist career of the future. It feels good. It's no more like cheating and hiding and like labels taking 90% of your master. It's like,
yeah, or like being somebody you're not. I think there was a lot of, I mean, the classic story you guys know, I'm sure, like Milli Vanilli. I don't know if you know what Milli Vanilli is, Faith. You were really young. But yeah, it's like How would do you know, Stephanie, who they are? You're young too. Yeah, it's like they were just a band that they didn't sing. They were just good-looking people, and somebody else sang, and they tried to sell that off as their voices. And then people found out. And I don't know the full history, but I think it turned really dark, and there was like suicide. So it's like, it's not a fun thing, you know. But that's how like things used to be back in the day. People were very, very fake, and it was very acceptable to be very fake. But with social media, you kind of can't be, and then why would you be? Because if you're being real, you're finding people that like you for you.
So much more fulfilling. Yeah. So much more fulfilling that way.
Yeah, yeah. And I guess for you, Herbie, because I'm obsessed with your song Sugar Daddy, as are like millions of other people. Yeah. It is so good. It is very good. I kind of want to hear, because I mean, you've been really successful for a while with the major label on the indie level, but I feel like this song was like an explosion for you too. So I want to hear more a little bit, like the nitty gritty of the promotion of that song, of how that happened, like specifically, like as far as getting it to go that viral.
Of course. I mean, it was a song that we weren't going to release as a single at all. So that's a tip for artists. If you're creative and you're listening, it's not always the song that you think is going to be a hit. It's like usually one, like the one that was the easiest to write and like the fastest, like just came out on the microphone. I was like, I've literally never had a sugar daddy, but for some reason I felt this story channel through myself. And I had a lot of learning to do. I was like, what am I talking about? But I really connected with this song. And then a lot of people, it actually ended up going viral in the Middle East and Asia.
Really?
So we also have to stop just thinking America, like just US, even though the US is like the golden apple of the game. You could also like blow up in China and have an entire career and like still be able to walk around on the street here without being, you know, accosted. It's pretty interesting how global we are. But it was organic. The Sugar Daddy dropped during the pandemic, and it just like it blew up in little clusters, like Shazam. It would be charting on Shazam in like France, and then Brazil, and then Egypt one day, Indonesia. So it's fun that we have these tools now as artists to see like, okay, like you're like Crimson Apple's like popping on TikTok, like where did it start? Like sometimes it's like rocket science. You have to find like in one of the Middle Eastern countries, it was like sugar daddy spelled SUGER. And so there was a whole tag and a whole like 300,000 people making a video to that sound, which had like an Arabic remix.
Oh, no way.
Yes, and then we found the Arabic remix on YouTube had 8 million hits already.
Wow.
And this is like we weren't even aware of it. So it's been pretty cool.
That is very, very cool. I'm curious for you, Stephanie, have you guys had any stories of songs sort of being launched on Thematic and kind of going on to spread virally? Yeah, because I definitely have seen it, you know, help me and help Elli as an artist. I'm very curious how that works on your guys' end.
Yeah, we typically see it building or growing, I should say, in like niche communities. So like Elli, I think I most recently sent her an example of like a Roblox video. So she's like developing that community, which is interesting. And then we'll kind of start to see it trickle in that way. And then a lot of people take it off platform. So that's when you'll see it then merge over to TikTok. You'll see it go over to Facebook, Twitter, if they're using that. Right now we do YouTube and Instagram, so we're able to see both of those platforms. And because they're so closely tied together, usually if you have a YouTube presence, you'll have an Instagram presence, or the other way around. And so we'll see how that song will then translate onto those other platforms. And we have had a couple instances of artists that have gone, by our definition, viral. Of course, it means different things depending on the type of artist, right? But like Elli Moore has gone with, you know, her song, I think it's okay. which did really well. We've had like Fiji Blue, they're a huge act on the platform. They're amazing. We've had just Lauv when he was first developing I Like Me Better. That was one that we worked on that went viral for us. So throughout time, there's been songs that come out of it. And it just depends on what viral means for the artist, really, at the end of the day, right? It might, for some artists, it's literally tying the virality into making a record deal, like Herbie said, and like if that's their success, then great. Other artists, it's just having the song trend upwards on Spotify, millions and millions of hits. And so it really depends on them, but we've had quite a few. A really big one that we had a couple years ago was Mona Lisa from now that act is Fiji Blue, but at the time they were solo acts. And that one still till this day, we get just so many people wanting to use the song, and it's not even a new song anymore, but we just see them just constantly, can I please use it? Can I please use it? And as you know, we like to transition the songs off. So we want you to use the new stuff, not the old stuff, but it's good. So
yeah, and it's interesting. Do you ever see a trend? Like, do you ever yourself kind of ponder why this song? Why is this song blowing up so much in this community? Why is this song really popular here?
Yeah, when I have time to go in there, I'll pull in the data and go through it and really see what's going on. Most of the time, we'll see it tied to a specific YouTuber influencer. You could say like, oh, this person used this song in their video, and all of a sudden, everyone who follows them wants to use it. And so we'll see that uptick directly there. Other times when we can go in and really dive into the data, I can see even, oh, the lyrics to this song really match up to this Sims gameplay, and therefore this is why it went viral, right? So with the Sims, it depends a lot on
that's
like
just my dream is to be in every Sims video, because that's like my favorite game.
Oh my god, really? Oh my god, I'm gonna put you in our playlist, our Sims playlist, so we can go.
Oh please, like I literally, my dream is to just like have a song in The Sims. I'm like, please, I'll do it for free. It doesn't matter, because I've been playing The Sims since like year 2000.
Oh my god. Okay, now I know. I'm totally gonna put it in there. But
oh my god, thank you.
Yeah,
it's coming true already.
Right? It's full circle moment, but it's things like that. Like Herbie was saying, sometimes it's the songs you least expect that just take off for some reason. It can be a lyric, it can be a word, it can literally just be the aesthetic of the album cover, and they just start using it, right? So it's so crazy to see, but it's fun to watch and see the data.
Yeah, I think it's definitely hard to reverse engineer virality. I think a lot of companies try to do that. Sometimes it works, a lot of times I don't think it does. That's what a lot of labels I see do. And I mean, just other companies and other popular products. Oh, this is popular, we should make another version. And then it doesn't work. It's very interesting how that works. But speaking more of working, I want to chat a little bit more with Faith. So I know that you guys obviously have all your social medias, Crimson Apple, but also you do the most banging drumming videos on Instagram. They're so good. You're literally my favorite drummer on there. Like every time you play, like the playing is amazing, but also just like your passion for it is so incredible. So I want to hear a little bit more about how you started to do that, why you started to do that. Was it just something that was fun for you? Was it like more of a strategic move to help Crimson Apple grow?
Honestly, I only got onto social media because my mom said that it would help Crimson Apple. And I was like 14, and I was like, okay. And then she was like, I was like, well, I don't really want one. She's like, no, I think it'll be good for your drumming. And so she like made the Faith in Drums handle and everything. So I didn't really, thank you, Mom. I didn't really start like posting drum videos to Instagram seriously until like late 2019, like as an individual. And how that happened, I guess what really inspired me was I just randomly posted like a clip of a Crimson Apple performance, and this female drummers page like found me and reposted me. And then I went into it, and there was all these drummers, female drummers, like just popping off and like building their own communities of people who were really supportive of their drumming and them as like female musicians. And I was like, wow, I really want this for myself and for the band. So I was like, I'm just gonna start posting a little bit more actively, like my favorite covers or like my favorite songs, and just see where that takes me. And then I think obviously with TikTok and then with Reels was when things sort of like got a little bit more serious. So
Yeah, because it's insane and it's so well deserved. You know what I mean? I'm so happy for you because it is interesting though sometimes stuff that I think is amazing, is really underrated. I guess is like our new slang for something good. It's like, why isn't this more popular? So I'm glad that, you are really popping off and those videos are getting the views they deserve. Do you think it was more with these reposts from these drumming communities? Was it more hashtags? What do you think kind of did the trick?
honestly, I feel like that's changed throughout the years. Like initially, I think it was hashtags and getting reposted at the same time. I just like I looked at what everyone else is tagging, and I realized how big hashtags were. Like if someone is looking at a lot of female drummers, there will pop up a video of me if I just make sure to include that tag. So it was definitely hashtags, and then those hashtags led to bigger, I guess, Instagrams finding me and reposting me. And I think after that, I'm not sure if like there's too many like engagement specifically from reposts now. I think more so like I'll post a reel and then it'll just like overnight it's like a couple million views, and I'm like, oh shoot, and then there's like people who have tagged me after it got a lot of views. But I think now it's more so just posting songs that like I think are doing really well or people are really excited about or a lot of people have requested, because I think that people really enjoy seeing that. So
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. And I'm curious how that translated to your band success too, because I'm sure a lot of those fans kind of bleed over from you to Crimson Apple too, because you are in Crimson Apple.
yeah. I think on some of our posts, and this makes me really happy. It's like, oh, I love your guys. This one song that you guys do. I found you through this one video that your drummer posted like 2 years ago on YouTube, and I'm like, ah, yes, go old drum videos. So it just you never know how people are going to find you and then fall in love with your music, or who's gonna find you and fall in love with your music. So I do think that there was definitely a I guess crossover from people who really fell in love with my drumming and then fell in love with my drumming on Crimson Apple songs. And I think also from Crimson Apple pages, like on TikTok, like the second video we ever posted on TikTok was like this thing that my sisters do where they like grab a pair of sticks and they throw it at me at random times, and they're like, hey, Faith catches beat, and then I have to like pick it up, and if I catch them and it doesn't like hit me in the face, but I try to play whatever beat comes to mind. So I think that was like drumming specifically on Crimson Apple's page that kind of
That's so fun. That is honestly so fun, and I can 100% see why that would go viral because you're risking being hit in the face with drumsticks. I understand why people would really appreciate that.
yeah, I've been hit in the face a lot with drumsticks, so I'm
Yeah.
glad
Yeah. It kind of something you said made me just sparked a thought too, because I feel like you've touched on, somebody finding an old video of you from a couple of years ago, and then you, Stephanie, also touched on people finding older music and still requesting older music. I think there's a bit of a trend of people, thinking that, oh, art has to be really fresh. It has to be new all the time. But it seems like that's not always necessarily the case. Like it's more about your body of work, right? So I'm kind of curious. For you, Herbie, because you've put out so much music and all of it is amazing. Like how do you find that translating into now, like older records from 2018 or whatever? Do you still get traction from it? Do you still get new fans from it?
Yeah, I think both Stephanie and Faith touched on this, but they were talking about consistency. And there's a book that I really love called The Compound Effect.
Ooh.
And we read a whole bunch of like nerdy books in this house besides Harry Potter, but Compound Effect.
She's writing it down. Yes, Faith.
Compound Effect is that bitch. You will love this, Faith, because you're already doing it. Like, this is just more advice for artists. I feel like Stephanie's the only like business woman on this chat.
No, you are too. Get it, girl.
But you're like you're observing so many important trends that are emerging, and like the industry. Let's face it, the industry is changing completely.
Yes.
Right now,
oh
like before our eyes. Like those of us that are old enough to remember like traditional business stuff, it's like some of the music business books I used to read back in the 2010s were like, get a manager and a lawyer and take a commission. And then I'm like, damn, bro, like I know some bitches out here that like don't have a team at all, and they're clearing like 6 figures a month on royalties. Like that's where I want all independent artists to be able to go. But consistency and the compounding is basically like if you're feeding that niche that Faith was talking about, that niche fan base of like anime fans, you're giving them something to chew on like every few weeks or every couple of months. And over time, because Queen Herbie is we're about 4 years in on Queen Herbie music, and I only have about 65 songs out. This artist Russ had like 300 songs out when he signed a $10 million record deal. So it's like, he was already making like 300 grand a month off of those 300 songs before he signed. So he didn't even need the label. It was at that point he was like, well, I have an audience. They know like it's going to do well. And the label can then like go past all the gatekeepers for the playlists that I've been waiting for. So he continues to like ride the career trajectory that we all want, but he also dropped a song a week for like 7 years.
That's a lot of songs.
It is. And so we have to there's like a little fear. I noticed this just from my experience. People are afraid. They're like, Herbie, like you've dropped so much music. It's like, what? Do you not like it? Like, you can't be afraid. I know a lot of artists that are afraid to drop a song. Like they won't even drop their first project because it has to be perfect, has to be with a label, has to be this. It's like, babe, just get started, find out who you are, like cultivate this thing and like literally make your own coins before you even step in a room with a label exec. Like build your own ecosystem and your own mini empire before you even think about signing a deal. And you might not even need one.
Truth spoken all around. Yeah, and I think there's different types of artists. I still run across artists that are very traditional minded, and it kind of works for them and for the type of music that they do, for the kind of mystique that they have. It really depends on the person, and I'm looking at some of these audience questions. Yeah, and one of them is how important is social media? And it's like, yes, of course it's really important. But then again, it's kind of what we talked about with authenticity, with your faith, like doing what you want to do. If that's really not resonating with you, perhaps there's a different path. So, but I do think it's a lot easier to do it with social media for sure. And I guess my question is for all of you guys, really. So I do know that for a lot of artists that are brand new that are going to be watching this, they really aren't at the point yet where they don't even have any fans. They're not getting millions of plays on their TikToks. They're not able to release 60 songs in 4 years. That's something that's unattainable for them. And they're just they maybe just have 4 songs that they, paid their hard-earned money to a producer for. They're really good. Do you guys have any advice for specifically what they could do as far as promotion, as far as posting, as far as paid promotion? Like, what are some of the moves that you guys have seen work? Hard question.
I'll go first.
Right.
Yeah. So we do work with a lot of artists that release their first project on the site. So, use thematic,
Yes. Please do.
Right? Shameless plug. But use thematic, and it's gonna get you free placement, free promotion in influencer videos. So that's across YouTube and Instagram, and there's the number of influencer, the reach of them depends on obviously like what platform they're posting on, but you have influencers that are hundreds of thousands of subscribers to millions. So it really ranges, but I would say first get your music out for free, to let people really give you an idea of what they think of your music, right? So I wouldn't say automatically start paying for someone to place your music. If you have the money and you can do it, great. I'm assuming you don't have the money yet. You're trying to get there. So I would say give it out for free and see where it takes off. See what are the communities that like that song. What is the feedback that you're getting? You're probably still developing your sound as well. So work with people to develop that sound and promote what you have, and just baby step it, right? Like Herbie mentioned, it doesn't have to be perfect. Most of the time you're going to think back like, oh, what was I doing on that first song? Or what did I think of why did I do that picture? Why did I do this? You can progress and change it and get better. But if you don't start, you don't get anywhere, right? Like you have to start somewhere. You have to put it out. You have to get something out there and have people start talking about it and actually building awareness of who you are, your music, your sound, and then you can tweak as you go and get better and grow, and then put a lot of money behind it if you're seeing it be successful.
I think that makes a lot of sense too. You can kind of know, even on a small level, you can see like if you've put out, let's say 5 songs and one of them seems to be doing a little bit better than the others, even if we're looking at, one has 2,000 plays versus the others have 500, you kind of know, oh, well, that one seems to be liked more. So maybe that's the one to invest in.
Exactly. I feel like, wait, sorry, go ahead.
Oh, no, I was just going to add that it could even just be like one little piece, like, the Ashniko song where she just laughing at the beginning.
Yeah.
Like the laughing is what went viral. So really if you have 4 songs, you might have like 16 to 20 TikTok moments that could go for any reason.
That's really interesting, Faith. I'm really curious, how have you guys promoted your own songs on TikTok? Like, do you kind of try to design TikToks around the most TikTokable moments?
As far as promoting our songs on TikTok, I have to like remember everything that we did.
It's a
like
lot.
I think for one of our older songs, like our first TikTok, we just decided to do like a snippet of it, and we did like an acoustic breakdown. But we wanted to bring people like from our Instagram to our TikTok, so everyone posted a piece of it on their own pages, and then said go like find our TikTok, and then you can see everything put together. We did like a 4-part video, so that's one way that we did for one of our old songs from like a super old EP. And then also I think we've done like little like mini story times that I think people thought were interesting. And then I don't know, just like there's already people on our TikTok, so whenever we had a release coming up, we just pop on and be like,
hey.
oh, hey, you know us from the anime covers, but we make music too. So
do you find that a lot of that audience is receptive to you guys' original music?
Definitely, yeah.
That's awesome. That's awesome, because I know it can be a little bit like tough. I've heard from some artists that have done covers that are like, oh, like they love my covers and they just want me to keep doing covers, and they don't want my original music. But I think it just probably depends on like how good your stuff is. Obviously your stuff is great, so like that makes a lot of sense. And this kind of makes me wonder too, because obviously there's a component of an artist's career we haven't even touched on, which is more of the offline aspect, which is touring. Obviously the last year that was not an option, but now that things are coming back, and prior to COVID too, have you guys found that the online success really translated to touring, to offline success, like having fans come to concerts, really.
I have never toured as Queen Herbie.
You don't? I didn't even know that.
Not yet. We're working on it. We're working on it.
I want to see it.
I would go.
It's gonna be so fun.
Honestly, I get it. I never want to tour. I just literally can't pay me enough. I don't know tour bus.
It's a little bit, yeah, it's a little bit laziness, but also we were gonna try to tour before the pandemic. So to be fair, it was bad timing.
Bad timing. Yeah, I know you guys with Crimson Apple, you guys perform all the time. So, and I've seen you have some performances coming up.
Yeah, we do. And I'm definitely excited to see how, because honestly, like 2020 was really where we grew our social media following the most. So I'm really excited to see how that translates to live shows. And we're in the process of scheduling a tour in the fall. And also we're going to play Bottle Rock. Yeah. So
that is exciting. And I bet you guys are so excited after, you know, over a year of COVID and not being able to perform. I know you guys, like, that's your thing. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. Performing is my favorite, I think, aspect of being a drummer and being a musician. So I'm really excited to get back to that.
Yeah, and it really comes through too in your videos. You could tell just in how you play that you're such a performer. So I'm so stoked for you guys to be back on tour. Everybody that's watching, please follow Crimson Apple. If they're coming through your city, get yourself a ticket. Do all those wonderful things. So yeah, and you know, I'm just looking at some of these audience questions that I have on here. I feel like we've covered a lot of this. So I'm just gonna ask you guys one kind of final question to wrap it up. What is the one piece of advice that you would give to an artist that really wants to develop their online presence? Take your time.
I guess we kind of touched on it already, but I would just say be super authentic. Like I think it can be kind of intense hopping onto a social media platform for the first time and everyone's doing one thing, but that doesn't really align with who you are, you know, style wise or musically. I would just say, like, keep it authentic, be yourself, because you will find people like you and they'll be really grateful that they found someone like them. So yeah. And also do things at your own pace, because a lot of people as well are like, oh, I've got to post every single day and I need to do a cover a day. I totally don't do that. I think it's more quality over quantity. So I think it's more important to just keep at your own pace and put your best foot forward and like keep it breezy.
I think that's really great advice. Yeah, I hear this a lot of the times from PR people where they're very like, you gotta post every day. And I'm like, I'm not gonna. I got shit to do. So yeah, I think it's great to hear that, you know, you don't have to do that and you can still be successful. Ladies.
Yeah, maybe mine will be then. I feel like we're in Sleeping Beauty and it's like, my gift for the princess. Okay. No, I think something that I'm working on now is don't be a perfectionist, right? So even on those days you're like, oh, I've got shit to do, I'm too busy. Like even just something so simple like, mwah, like a picture, like, oh my God, you guys make me so happy, like make my toes tickle and I just can't wait to make more songs for you. But just really loose and like, because I notice sometimes I'll just post pictures with no makeup and it like does way better than like a professional photo shoot. So that would be my advice.
That's really interesting. Yeah, it's always kind of like almost annoying where you're like, look, I spent money on this and you like the self better. What's wrong with you?
Right.
But it's true.
Photo shoot took hours.
It kind of goes back to like, you just don't know what people are going to like. And I think so many people want to control it really tightly and try to engineer it. And I mean, it can work. I've seen it work, but it can also not work. So I think kind of having a good time.
They might just fuck with you as you are.
Yeah,
Authenticity.
And then if you had a good time creating that piece of content or whatever, like music, whatever it is, even if it doesn't go viral or anything, like at least you can be like, oh, well, I wanted to do that. So I got personal enjoyment out of it. If you did it just for the gram, then you will be disappointed. Stephanie, anything?
Yeah, I agree with that. Be authentic, keep it real. Everyone wants to see like the real you, and if it's without makeup, then that's what it is. And if that's what they like, great, then post more of it. But I also think sticking to the platforms that you feel comfortable with, because not everyone is built for TikTok, not everyone is built for Reels, Instagram, YouTube. YouTube is a whole beast. You need to have a whole team for that. It's a huge undertaking. TikTok is a little bit easier. However, it's not for everyone, right? So stick to what you feel comfortable with and what you know you can sustain, to not, work on it and not go crazy or not feel like you don't have a life. At the end of the day, you still have a life. You still have to, do your business, handle your stuff. So I would say stick to a few platforms. If you're really great on Instagram, stick to that. If you're really great on YouTube and you already have a presence there, then focus more on that. But don't try to start something just because it's the latest trend. Like if you heard of Clubhouse and all of a sudden you're so focused on Clubhouse, but if it's not your thing, it's not your thing, and it's going to take more work to get it to be like your thing. And then you don't really get the reward of it. So I would say stick to any platform that you're great at or that you feel comfortable with, and then grow as you grow, like grow to another platform as you develop. But just stick to one and do it really well, and then go to the next one.
I think that's fantastic advice because there's pressure to get on the new thing.
Yeah, there's so much pressure. Believe me, I feel it all the time.
Yeah, there really is. Reels come out. It's like, oh, everything is irrelevant but Reels. You got to do Reels.
Right. I got to do it or I won't grow. I got to post 5 times a day or I'm not going to grow. Like, those are all great if you already are on that platform and you're using it as a strategy to grow. But if all you're doing is putting all your eggs in that new basket, then what happened to the other things that you were working on, right? You're dropping off, you're slacking off, and then you're not going to do well on any of them.
I think it goes back to what Herbie said about sustainability. Like, you have to be able to kind of do it for a long time. I've been doing YouTube for like consistently about a year. And this is like only now I'm starting to see like, oh yeah, I've had some brand deals now. Like, there's people that really like the video. It's still really small, but you can see some movement, and I post like once every 2 weeks. It's not even like a full on undertaking. I see people that do really well. I mean, they post every day. They live stream. They post maybe 3 times a week, like at the least. So, you have to kind of think about what you want your career to look like too, because if you want to be a YouTuber, that's wonderful. But will you have enough time to make music? Do all the things you need to do as an artist, because it's not all social media.
Right. It's custom to the person. Like, if you want to be an artist with a huge YouTube presence, and focus on that. If you want to be an artist that is writing songs for other artists, and maybe that's not the focus. Maybe your focus is working with other artists and developing that. So it just really depends. So you really have to figure out, what do you want out of it, right? Like, what is success looking like for you? It's not the same. It's not a record deal for everyone. Most people, it's not. It's something else.
I mean, that's a whole like podcast topic.
Yeah, it's a whole
like, what is
the whole thing?
What is success?
What do you want? Yeah.
Yeah, because I think a lot of younger people too are like, oh, I want the likes, but it's like, do you really, or are you just influenced by society to want the validation of those likes? And you hear people talk about that a lot, but you kind of have to dig deeper, and for some people it's like, no, I really just want a lot of people to experience my music. And it's like, okay, that's great. Then you really do need to go for some of those platforms and know that that's what you really need to focus on. And, you know, like you said, Stephanie, some people are going to be a little bit more chill, or like you, Faith, like you want to perform. You really can't wait to get on tour, and like, you can't pay me to go on tour. I don't want to do it. So everybody's really different. And I think it comes down to that. But for anybody starting out, you know, I think it's just starting slow and consistent, because if you're good at whatever it is that you do, it is gonna build. It has no choice but to build. So, and I think with that, we will wrap. Ladies, thank you so much for being here. I think you're all wonderful, gave such wonderful advice, and just really, really big thanks for being here and donating your time to Modern Music Expo, and everybody that's here to learn. Thank you, guys.
Thank you. It's so awesome.